Hello Capricorn, this is your October forecast for 2016, and this is a lovely month for you as far as career. That's where the main focus is going to be. That's where the sun is transiting through in your solar chart alongside with Jupiter. So we can say congratulations, finally something is really now going to expand in this area of your life. Jupiter meets the 10th house, your career, once every 12 years, and it remains there for the better part of a year. So here last month in September, it entered into this area. Now the sun is there too, and the sun is you. So pay attention to whatever might be coming up at the last part there of September as you're coming into October, when the sun is going to be spending this time. So there could be an expansion to any projects you're working on. There could be new opportunities coming your way, but you have a good long time for Jupiter to work its magic here. But it's definitely a month here where you're going to be balancing maybe between more than just one project as well, because we're moving through the sign of Libra. There might be choices needed to be made. It's all about finding that perfect balance and harmony, not the least. We have also here the new moon and Venus in your 11th house. And Venus right now is in the sign of Scorpio. So we're all emoting somewhat deeper into that passionate side of ourselves. It is in the 11th house of your hopes and dreams. So that's what you're passionate about, is how you now can bring those dreams down to ground earth, right? And manifest them. And you got that new moon, which is going to plant the seeds for the whole entire coming year. But that's not before the end of the month. On the 30th, you will have the time to set down your intentions and plant those seeds. But Venus here, you will have it active in this area until the 18th. Then Venus is going to move into the background, into your 12th house, where you're going to want to pull back maybe from being extroverted and socializing a whole lot, being extremely busy here with Venus, socializing, and then just wanting to take time off a little bit so you could be inside your own head. That's what the 12th house is always good about. And actually, she will be meeting up with Saturn, which is already there and will be there for another year and a half, where your subconsciousness is actually working on shutting down the whole cycle of the last 28 years, preparing itself for what it wants to produce once it comes out, but not quite yet. But Venus is going to actually meet up there and give it some great ideas. That's not before the end of the month either, but at least they'll be in the same sign and they will be working off one another. But let's talk about Mars. Mars being our drive, our ambition, our goals, our physical energy, right? It's our fire. Right now here, Capricorn, it's cruising through your sign, so it's in your first house. This allows you to be that much more active and proactive. I see that it's been resting up, under the retrograde. It was for a prolonged time there in your 12th house. But now that it's out into the open, I see how you're picking up a lot of steam. It is dynamic, and we know that you are really good about patience when it comes to reaching for those higher goals. Think that mountain goat, right? Up to the peak of the mountain. That's you now this month. And it's working its way towards Pluto, which is already there in your first house. So when the two of them meet, we got action. That's in next month's forecast for November. But anything you do now this month, Capricorn, is laying the foundation for what you can come to expect next month. Should be super important and also exciting news. But you'll feel the fire is with you. Your goals are with you. And whoever you're working and collaborating with, they may see this shift of energy within you. And from it, I'm also feeling that you can get so geared up here, and it could have to do with your career. At least it's angling beautifully up there to the career house. Opportunities, people in high places might just now come into the picture. Be very supportive of you, what it is you're doing, your talents, your skill, your knack and know-how might just now come out and really flourish. This year, this upcoming year, Capricorn, is going to be the best of the last 12 years as far as your career goes, okay? So pay attention. It's time to really be awake. I know most of you are. Why? Because security is always on your mind to really think about not just the here and now. You're a type of person that always looks at the consequences and the longevity of anything that you build in your life that's substantial. So right now I'm thinking October is actually a beautiful month. What a way to go, especially after how everything has been retrograding this month from top of the year till now. So now we have a break. Mercury is direct again. It is currently, as we start off the month, in your 9th house. Gives you a little extra time to do whatever research that you're needing to do, because it too will change signs and join up with the Sun and Jupiter in your career house on the 7th. So you have that first week to kind of wrap up what you need to do, and then your mind is going to be all career oriented for the last 3 weeks, that is. So yes, we have the new moon, like I said, that's at the end of the month now here on the 30th. That's when you want to plant your seeds, your intentions of wanting to be somewhat better about creating space-time to be with your friends, right? To socialize a little bit more, because you can become so work-oriented that it's easy to put your own needs aside with your friends. So here you go. That is what that is about. And then the full moon will be in your 4th house this month, which is going to be illuminating the area of your family, your foundation, the things that you're working on to solidify, you know, in your roots, so to speak. But it's also your home, family, property, and so forth. And it will be moving, passing over the point of Uranus within that first 24-hour span. So that can come to bring some unexpected, perhaps, insight, news, or something exciting, at least. Now you can see there's 2 icons under this video, the Astro Weekly and the Tarot Weekly. If you're on a computer, on your monitor, you can easily click these when we're done with this reading, which we're not yet by any means, but it's easy to click them and they will always be updated no matter what time you come in throughout the month for this monthly reading, as they are updated on a playlist. They upload every Sunday morning so that you have the whole week in front of you, which is a little different from the astrology we do for the month. Because here we only do the new moon and full moon, but on the weekly we get like more the day-to-day mood, and the moon rules our mood. Are we on the high or are we on the low? Think about the tides, right? So we shift accordingly when the moon shifts, and it moves so quickly and it creates so many different aspects and transits to the other planets that it's really nice to have that calendar to look for. So when we're done, you can easily just go there just to have that said. If you're on your phone, I don't know if I mentioned that or if that was on the other videos, but I'm also putting a link under this video if you are on your phone, because then you can't really click and go straight through. So you can easily find it there too. But hey, we're talking top of the month. It starts out romantically. Venus and Neptune. Love and higher dimensional love, the 2 forces come together, which allows you for a beautiful date night or to meet somebody new, perhaps. For those of you who are artists or working in the field of entertainment, this too is really inspirational. On the 5th, the Sun and your ruler Saturn are coming together. In this meeting, they are looking out to secure something. For you, I feel this is career-oriented because the Sun is coming from the 10th house. Okay, and your Saturn is there, what you've been working with, kind of like behind the veils. It may surface now, come into light, and if you're having a meeting, well then that should be good. However, though, a little stress there between the 5th and the 7th. It's just the way the planets are lining up. There might need to be some rash decisions to be made. I would always caution on it, because sometimes we feel we gotta act now or we may lose an opportunity, but then sometimes we might regret it if we acted too quickly. So I'm seeing there between the 5th and 7th that you're trying to at least look at what is good. What's working for you is that Saturn in the 10th, that some offer is given. So if you don't have to respond right away, I would say wait to the 11th. Then you are that much more together. You know, you got your core here, and communication is good. Great support coming in from Jupiter, which also is in that 10th house of career, mind you. And then I see you initiating and starting off on a creative project. This is Mars and Neptune. And when Mars is really fired up like this with something of an idealistic nature, well then you're good to go, because Mars is in that first house, right? So you're like this racehorse at the gate, ready to open up, so you can just take your charge, and so you will. So enjoy that. I would like to caution all of us here on the 25th for maybe something not turning out as one had hoped. There's a little disappointment, and that could be due to one of many reasons. Venus and Neptune, they are squaring off on each other, so maybe something that was promised might collapse, not come forward. You might feel disappointed for this very reason. However, though, the very next day on the 26th, Venus and Jupiter now are coming in. So what didn't take place on the 26th could still happen on the, what didn't come together on the 25th, sorry, could still happen on the 26th, as Jupiter not only is going to give a kiss and make up, but it's also being very generous with you. And sometimes we just got to think, if something doesn't come together, maybe it wasn't meant to. Right? We need to learn to let go, let God, trust the universe and the flow, and then see how it's still going to balance itself up in a good manner in the end. But talking about that, is there anything we need to be cautious about this month? There is on the 28th, when Mars and Uranus are up against each other in a challenging square. I always call it the earthquake aspect. It's when Mother Earth shakes, you know, when the tectonic plates have had enough pressure and friction, and then suddenly something snaps quickly, unexpectedly. Who knew, right? And it's not just Mother Earth undergoing the influences from Mars and Uranus. We all are, even down to physical equipment. Anything that's on the surface of the planet will be infused with these energies. And so, yes, people can be short-tempered. They might have a very, very, very short fuse. We might feel it too. So we just want to kind of lay low, not get into it, but do pay attention when we're out in traffic, when we have this aspect, because other people in their cars might not be paying attention too much to details, because their mind is going tick, 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 thinking about situations that took place that day. So once we have that in hand, the 29th is good. Venus coming in with Saturn, and that is your ruler. And when we have this conjunction, that is money, security, but it's also love and self-esteem, something coming together to secure it. And that's Saturn wrapping its rings around Venus, and in that embrace, you're all set for a new start. That's what conjunctions are. When two planets have the same point in the sky, that's the infusion of the new, and Venus is starting a new annual cycle since last year, when under the last conjunction. However, though, Saturn wasn't in the same place, so it's not going to be the same thing as last year. This time it's going to be different. Last year you initiated something that had to do with groups, or something with your friends, or some ideal type situation, but right now this is in the 12th house, so it has to do with concepts that you might be thinking about in your private time that you're not ready quite yet to share with the world, but you will be pretty soon. Next month we'll talk about that. So listen, we have Mercury changing signs on us on the 7th, moving out of Virgo into your 10th house for career. So for the last 3 weeks, Mercury is going to be very talkative, communicative, doing presentations or having important meetings. And then on the 18th, Venus is moving out of that 12th house into your first house. So then you're more apt to be ready to show and share with the world what it is you've been designing behind the veils. And so that should be good. And when Venus is in Sagittarius. I'm sorry, it's coming out of your 11th house. I've already done 10 charts here today, so it's coming out of your 11th house for hopes and dreams, moving into your 12th house for more so thinking what it is you want to create behind the veil, and also taking time to be inside your own head. That is so important, because that's when you're going to be producing all these creative ideas that you will be presenting next month, as we said. But Venus loves being in Sagittarius because it's creative and it's a happy-go-lucky type energy. So I'm feeling there's harmonious energy for you to derive from this. And then, of course, we got the Sun moving into Scorpio there. That's on the 22nd. So that's out of your career house into the area that has to do with groups and organizations, circle of friends and so forth. And that's where you're going to be that much more outgoing after the 22nd. So listen, this is what we have for you now, the full moon. We're going to end it on that note. The full moon is going to be in your 4th house for family. We mentioned that top of the chart. And then we have Halloween. And the moon is beautifully aspected to both Pluto and Mars. Pluto and Mars both being more masculine, and it's a little bit more gory. We can think it's more going to be about the monsters and blood and so forth. Whenever, say, if Halloween is influenced by Venus and Neptune, we got the fairy godmothers, right? Something that's fluffy and nice and sweet. Whereas now this year, just look at the kids coming in, knocking on the door, and you will see that they got their little monster outfits on. So listen, have a wonderful Halloween. I will see you in November. So please go to your Astro Weekly if you want to know what's coming up this week. See you next month.